we're gonna get started. We have another one of my sisters here today. Her name is Jairelyn, or Jerry, also known as Mrs. Huguet, and she's gonna talk about her career today also. So I'm gonna spotlight you, and then I'll put so you can share your screen.
Hi guys. So I am Valerie's older sister, the older sister. And I know you guys were with my other sister yesterday, and she has a really awesome, fun job, and she sings and she lives in LA. My job is also awesome because I save the world, but I don't sing. So what I do is I recycle scrap metal. And so I'm in the recycling business. So we take all your trash and your scrap and we sell it so that they can make something new and make new houses and new cars and spoons and forks and nickels and dimes and pennies. So anything made of metal can be recycled and you can sell it. And then people like me buy it and then we sell it to China and India and other parts of the world, and they make awesome things with it, and then we buy it back and make new houses. That way we don't destroy the earth by taking all of the resources out of the earth. So recycling is really, really important, and that's what I do. I make sure that we recycle metal and plastic. So I have a little PowerPoint for you guys, and then we can ask some questions, and then I'll take you around on my phone through my scrap yard, and you can see what scrap looks like, and we'll use a magnet. And I'll show you what sticks to magnet and what doesn't. And then that's it. And then you guys can ask me whatever you want. Okay? Should I start the PowerPoint?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, I'll share my screen here. Do you guys see it here? Everything good?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, today's career day for you guys. I'm in the recycling industry, as I mentioned, and I recycle particularly scrap metal, but you can recycle paper, cardboard, plastic, but what I do is recycling metal. So what is recycling? Recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that you would probably throw away, but instead of throwing them away, you recycle them so that you can make new products again. And recycling can benefit your community and help our environment. So in order to get metal, you have to mine metal. So you have to take it from the earth in a powder form, and then you have to do a lot of work to it, and then you get a brand new metal. But we don't have enough to keep making new metal, so that's why we recycle. And when you're done with your metal, whatever the metal is, you recycle it, you sell it to your local scrapyard, and they go and they make something new with it. But the way that we get new metal is by mining it in the Earth's crust. So what's really great is that all metal has a price, even scrap metal. So once your metal is old, or you want to redo your kitchen, or you want to throw away your batteries, or you want to throw away your iron bed, you can take it to your local scrapyard and they'll give you money for it. So you should recycle all your metal because you will get money for all the metal that you recycle. But don't take metal out of things just to sell it. Only when it's time to give it away. You can leave it outside of your house and they'll come pick it up, or you can take it to your local scrapyard and people like me will buy it from you, and then we will go and recycle it and turn it into new awesome things that we use every day. So types of metals, there's many types of metals, but there are like 4 or 5 main types that you're gonna see every day in your life. One important thing is that lead found in batteries is really dangerous for humans to eat or consume. So lead is, when purchased, it has to be purchased in a very specific way so that we're careful not to like put it in water, in the water that we drink, or don't ever eat a battery or lick a battery. So we should never touch lead. Lead is not good for humans, but it is good for other things. And it's still an important metal that we use today in everything. So copper is the most recycled metal because it's a very expensive metal. It's orangey red It comes from Chile. Most of it is mined in Chile, a country in South America. And it was the first metal that we ever used by humans. Like I said, it's the most recycled metal, and that's how we get our electricity. That's how we produce heat. And that's how we make a lot of our musical instruments like the bass or the clarinet. So these are the kind of things that you can find made by copper. So your instruments, your Christmas lights, your cell phone, and pennies. Aluminum is the most abundant metal in the earth. That's the one we have the most of. And it's the most used because all our cars are made of aluminum, airplanes are made of aluminum. It's a silvery color. You can't put a magnet to it, it won't stick. And the things that we make with our aluminum are cars, airplanes, rocket ships to space, and of course, our soda cans. They're all made of aluminum. And your pots and pans so that your parents can cook. Some other metals that are also really important are nickel. That's how you make your forks and your knives and a whole bunch of other, and the nickel, like the nickel that you use to buy stuff at the grocery store is made of nickel. Steel, that's how we build our houses. And that steel is the only magnetic metal. So if you put a magnet to something and it sticks, that means it has steel on it. 80 million tons of steel are recycled only in the US every year. That's a lot of metal that we're reusing and recycling. Lead, like I said, is found in the Earth's crust. It's very heavy. So like if you go fishing and you put a little lead beam on the end, that's what helps the fishing pole, the string go down all the way so you can catch the fish. And it also makes our batteries that we use in our cars and that we use to for our toys. All the batteries that we use have lead inside of them. Zinc is also a very important metal, and it's used to mix with other metals so you can make things like brass. And brass is really how you get a lot of the items that we have in our house and a lot of the instruments that we play. So zinc is a really important item that mixes with other metals to make a different and a brand new metal. And these are some items that you'll see with nickel and zinc and steel. And zinc, you can also take a vitamin every day of zinc. It's really important for the human body. There's a bunch of jobs in my industry. You could be a miner. You could go mine the metal. That's a really cool job. You'll go into the earth. You could be someone that then takes that metal that comes from the earth and you turn it into something. You could work at a scrapyard like me. You could work as a business owner of a scrapyard. You can buy and sell the metal. You can ship the metal in containers. You can do accounting or finance. There's a bunch of jobs. You could be a scientist and test the metal. You could be someone that worries about people's safety on the job site. So there's a bunch of jobs in my industry that are really awesome and you make really good money. So when you grow up, you should be in the scrap recycling industry. So now I have a couple questions for you guys. I hope everyone was listening. What kind of metal do you have in your house? Does anyone have metal right now in their house?
I do.
What metal? Let me see. I don't know how much.
A can.
You want me to like ask one of them what they have?
Yeah.
Okay. Regla, what do you have that's made of metal?
It's in my kitchen. Can I go get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. All right.
Miss Huguet, I have one. I have one. Highlight me.
Okay, hold on. Let me
How do I
find it.
highlight? Where do I go?
Carson, if you see her, can you highlight? Oh, there we go. Okay.
I have this.
You see, that's an aluminum can. Everybody likes the Croy, apparently.
Ramila has a can too. Hold it up.
Yeah,
Ramila.
it's the aluminum cans, and you can recycle those. And it's really important that we don't throw them in the trash, that we recycle them.
A Johnny
new
has
cans.
a fork. A Johnny has a fork.
That's made of nickel and chrome, and you can recycle that too whenever you're done with your fork and you want to buy new forks. Oh, there you go. That's nickel and chrome.
Oh, I see. Odali. Oh, that's
So Eva has something.
Is that
Dennis.
sour?
has a little can.
That's a tin can. Is that a tin can?
I think it is.
That might be a tin can. That's made of tin. Probably has some steel in it. If you put a magnet, it will probably stick.
German has his hand up. German.
Mommy, the drink.
Fork, awesome.
I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
Who was I missing? Oh, you could
I
spotlight.
see Aiden. Aiden has a fork.
Yeah, Aiden has.
Alexa.
Eva has a spoon. Stephanie has a spoon.
Oh,
a
Ryan
spoon.
has-
Awesome. A can. I see. Okay, someone has a knife. We should not have a knife.
Oh, Amara. Put that back, please. It is the metal, but put it back. Thanks.
Amani, what do you have?
Oh my gosh.
Made of metal.
Oh, I see. Oh, you see that? That's gonna be made of. That's gonna have some metal in it, I think.
Give it a jump.
This one.
Knife for me.
What is that? I can't see it, but I'm sure it's made of maybe steel. I don't know what is it.
German, what do you have?
Yes,
What's
sparkling
a
water.
speaker?
Yeah.
I have a sparkling water that we have. I
It's
see Isabella
Bella.
has her hand up. Isabella, show us what you have. I can't unmute you though. Oh, you're pointing to something. What is that? A chair? Can you unmute her?
Oh, it's a
Huguet?
magnet. Is it magnetic? That's made
Isabella?
of steel. So that's the next question. What kind of metal sticks to magnet? And that's steel and iron. So whatever you have there, I don't know what it is, but that's gonna have iron in it.
Connects a computer.
What?
That's a computer?
That's a computer?
It connects a computer.
It connects to the computer.
Oh, like your Wi-Fi?
oh, maybe it's like the cable, the coax.
It connects a computer. It turns on a computer.
Oh, well, that definitely has iron in it, and that's why it's magnetic. And they use it so that it could stick.
Okay, I think
And
Amara came back with a lid. Is that a lid, Amara? Can't see her. Legend has his hand up. Where's Legend? Aiden has a fork as well.
awesome.
Kaya has the NutriBullet
The
bottom.
inside of that, the whatever blends, the blender, the knives inside are made of nickel. Awesome, you guys have and there's so much metal everywhere. Even your headphones have copper inside. And there you have a can, and that's aluminum. That's awesome. So there's metal all over the place. Everywhere you look, you're gonna find metal. So make sure you recycle your metal and your plastic so we can keep the earth.
Oh, Mark is trying to show something there. I don't know.
Oh,
A charger. Mark.
a charger. There's gonna be steel inside and some copper wire.
Someone has a air freshener can.
A pie.
That's an
Glade.
aerosol can. That's an aluminum can. That's right. Kind of dangerous when you recycle because we have to cut them open so they don't explode.
A candle lid.
Awesome. A pencil has lead on the tip. So that's really interesting. So the tip of your pencil, the one that Ava is holding up, is made of lead. And there's a little bit of aluminum where the eraser is as well. So there's just metal everywhere. We can't survive without it. All right. Well, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? Does anyone want to be in the scrap business?
German.
Does anyone want to trade scrap metal? It's a great job.
German has his hand up.
Awesome. Do you guys want to see a scrap yard? I'm going to take you guys to my scrap yard and then we'll be done. So Val.
But make sure you stop sharing your screen here.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen here. All right.
I'm gonna spotlight the.
Oh.
Wait,
So I'll get out of this one. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you. I don't know if I can turn the camera around.
hold on, Eva. Stop sharing your screen.
Wait.
Who is that, Eva? Who's under Eva? Eva. Oh, Eva, stop sharing your screen, sweetie.
Eva, that's you.
I don't even know if she meant to do that. Do you know how to stop doing that?
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Can you unmute me, Val? All right, guys. So this is a scrap yard. This is a big baler. It crushes all the metal. And then, as you can see, we're not really open because of COVID, but there's a bunch of metal everywhere. And this is the metal that when you guys are done with your air conditioners and your refrigerators and your washer dryers and your cans and your forks and your knives, you bring it to a scrapyard like this, and then we take it and we sell it to smelters. This is, for example, all metal that comes out of cars. And this is a big bobcat, and it picks up all the metal, and we put it in the big machine, and it crushes it, and then we sell it to China, and China makes something new with it, and they sell it right back to us, and then we use it again. And that's the purpose of recycling. That's a whole bunch of nickel, and one day that's going to be a fork and a spoon and a nickel, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, and this is a bunch of aluminum that will one day become something as well, maybe a part of a car again. And that's what I do. Do you guys have any questions?
How much is a piece of metal?
I'm sorry?
How much is like one piece of metal?
So it depends on the metal. Copper is really expensive. So every pound of copper could be worth $2. But we sell a whole container with 40,000 pounds of copper, and we do a couple hundred of those a month. And imagine really big companies, not like ours, we're a small company. So really big companies will sell millions of pounds of copper, and it's really expensive. One container can cost $120,000. Aluminum is much cheaper, and aluminum and zinc are around the same price. Nickel is really expensive. 1 pound of nickel could cost maybe $3 or $4 or more, actually like $6 or $7. So nickel is very expensive, but it's very hard to find. So nickel is not as recycled because people will use their fork and knife forever because they never go bad, because nickel is such a really good, strong metal. See here, you'll see some Christmas lights, and we'll sell that to China, and someone who buys wire will take the copper out and recycle the plastic and the glass, and then take the copper and turn it into maybe wire for your new phone. These are old phone chargers from the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is more wire, probably from your house or where your electricity runs is full of wire behind the wall that you can't really see. And yeah, sometimes we'll find really cool stuff that people recycle. We'll find maybe old sculptures made of metal. So everything can be recycled, and it comes to a place like this. It gets crushed on a big machine like that, and then it turns into something new. That's it. Any other questions?
Regla?
Tina, you have a question?
Oh, sorry, I called on.
What is scrap? Wait,
What?
what?
Wait, go
Is
ahead.
titanium real?
What happened?
Is titanium real?
Titanium is a metal. It's very real, and it's really, really expensive. But it is very, very, very real.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is scrap?
What is scrap? What is scrap? What is scrap? Hold on, guys. Let me get back to the other computer. Okay.
Okay.
You gotta move the other one.
There we go. Better? There we go. Better?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. What is scrap? Scrap is metal that you used and you don't want it anymore. And so now it becomes scrap metal. So like the day you want to throw away your soda can, it's a piece of scrap metal. Now it's a scrap can because you can't use it again. So you'll take it to the scrap yard and they will crush it and then they'll melt it and turn it into a brand new can. So scrap metal is anything you're going to throw away that's made of metal. So you should not throw it in the trash. You should recycle everything.
I recycle cans that we drink.
Awesome. That's great. That's amazing.
Mariah, you have a question?
How long has she been working?
Since I was 17. Since I graduated high school, I started working in the metals industry.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I did every job. I didn't work in the yard, but I did every other job in the finance part of the business.
I don't know.
Legend. Where's Legend? He had his hand up.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Go ahead, Legend.
What is a penny made out of?
It's made out of copper and steel. So it's a copper penny. A penny is made out of copper. The penny is more expensive than the actual penny. The penny is worth more than a penny. But you are not allowed to recycle currency. So like your pennies, your nickels, your dimes, your quarters, they won't allow you to recycle them. You have to give them back to the government and they recycle them and they make new pennies. Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. I don't see any other questions, but thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go ahead and everyone's saying goodbye to you. We love you. Here you go. Bye.
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 Bye.